The night sky over Earth was quiet. Billions of stars burned like tiny lamps, far away and unreachable. Humanity had reached the stars, but only just. Space travel was still new, still dangerous. People looked up at the dark sky with hope, but also with fear. High above the Earth, on an orbital listening station, 3 operators sat in silence. Their job was simple: monitor the deep space channels. They listened for signals from ships, colonies, or probes. Most of the time, there was only static, hours of nothing. Then, at 03:17 Earth Standard Time, something broke the silence, a faint pulse. A whisper in the void. The youngest operator, Daniel, leaned forward. He pressed his headphones tighter. At first, he thought it was interference. But the signal repeated, short, sharp bursts, too organized to be random. His heart began to beat faster. "Sir, I think we have something," Daniel said, his voice shaking. His supervisor, Lieutenant Harris, frowned. He walked over, listening carefully as the strange pattern repeated. 3 short pulses, too long, then silence. Then it repeated again. "This is not natural," Harris whispered. The third operator, a woman named Patel, checked the system. Not a malfunction. "The signal is real, and it's not human." The room grew cold. For years, people had asked, "Are we alone?" Tonight, the question was answered. Within the hour, the signal was confirmed. It was broadcasting from beyond the edge of the solar system. Weak, broken, but deliberate. A distress call. Commanders gathered in secret. Governments were alerted. Satellites turned their ears toward the dark. At first, some thought it was hope. A new life form reaching out, maybe in need of help. But others felt something darker. The signal did not sound like a message of peace. It was desperate. It was urgent. And it was not meant for humans. Daniel could not sleep that night. The sound of the repeating signal echoed in his head. He imagined vast ships adrift in the dark, broken and dying. He imagined eyes, alien eyes, watching, waiting for an answer. By morning, news leaked. The world exploded with rumors. Some said it was fake. Others swore it was a warning. Crowds gathered in cities pointing to the sky. Humanity was no longer alone. But hidden within the repeating code, Patel found something strange. After hours of analysis, she froze. "It's not just a distress call," she whispered to Harris. The lieutenant leaned over her shoulder. On the screen, among the broken pulses, patterns emerged. Numbers, coordinates, a star system far from Earth. "They are calling for help," Harris muttered. "But not from us." The realization hit him like a storm. This was not a message sent to humanity. It was a signal aimed at someone else, someone who could understand it. Someone who was expected to answer. And if humans had heard it, that meant others had too. Far beyond the solar system, in the empty dark, something stirred. Ships older than Earth's nations. Empires born under alien suns. Predators who ruled the stars long before humans even dreamed of flight. They also heard the signal. The message was clear. The call was desperate. And the race to answer had begun. Earth did not know it yet, but by listening, humanity had stepped into a war that was not theirs, a war that was about to awaken Earth's wrath. For 3 days, the strange signal did not stop. It pulsed again and again, like the heartbeat of some dying creature in the void. The listening stations across Earth recorded every beat. Supercomputers analyzed the data, but the mystery only grew deeper. The world was no longer quiet. News spread fast. On every screen, in every city, people asked the same question. What is out there? Some prayed, some feared, some celebrated. For the first time in history, the whole planet looked in one direction, toward the stars. But behind closed doors, the governments of Earth were restless. In the United Nations Orbital Command, the highest military leaders gathered. The signal played in the background, soft but haunting. General Reeves, a tall man with sharp eyes, stood at the center of the room. "This is not random," he said. "It's a distress call, but it's not for us. Whoever sent this did not know humans existed, or they didn't care." "Then who is it for?" asked one of the scientists. Silence followed. Everyone knew the answer, but no one wanted to speak it. If the message was not for humans, it was meant for others, for beings who had already walked among the stars long before humanity dared. Daniel, the young operator who first caught the signal, sat quietly in a corner. His eyes burned with exhaustion, but he could not leave. He listened again and again, searching for meaning in the cold rhythm of sound. Patel, the data analyst, suddenly leaned forward. "Look here," she said, pointing at the projection. "It's layered. The first layer is the distress call. But behind it, there's another pattern." The room filled with tension. Numbers and symbols flashed on the screen. At first they seemed meaningless, but slowly they formed shapes. Star charts. "These are coordinates," Patel said, her voice firm. "The signal points to a location, a system about 20 light-years away." The scientists confirmed it. A small star system with a red sun, no human colonies, no known life. A silent corner of the galaxy. "Someone out there is calling for help," Daniel whispered, "and they want others to meet them there." General Reeves slammed his fist on the table. "Then we must decide. Do we answer?" The question hung heavy in the air. Some argued yes. If this was a call for help, maybe humanity could show compassion, reach out to new allies. Others said no. It was too dangerous. What if it was a trap? What if by answering, Earth would expose itself to powers far greater than it could resist? The debate lasted for hours. But while humans argued, the stars remained silent. On the fourth night, something new happened. The signal changed. Daniel heard it first. The pulse grew weaker, as if fading. Then, for a brief moment, a sound unlike anything before came through. A voice. It was broken, distorted, and not human. The words were impossible to understand, but the emotion was clear. Fear, desperation, pain. Daniel's skin turned cold. "They are dying," he whispered, the room filled with unease. If the unknown beings were truly dying, then others would come. Predators, scavengers, empires, whoever ruled the stars. The distress call was not just a message. It was a beacon, a flare in the dark, announcing weakness, and in the universe, weakness always invited hunters. At the same time, far beyond Earth's reach, fleets stirred. Alien ships moved like shadows across the void. Some came to answer, others came to conquer. None of them cared about humanity, but Earth had heard the signal, and Earth had no intention of staying silent. General Reeves made the decision. "Prepare the fleet. We will not answer with words. We will answer with presence. If the universe wants to test us, let it come. Humanity will show its strength." The room fell silent. Humanity had chosen a path. They would no longer be hidden in the shadows of the stars. That night, Daniel stood on the balcony of the orbital station, staring at Earth below. Cities glittered like fireflies, alive and unaware of the danger coming. Above him, the endless dark stretched forever. Somewhere out there, someone had cried for help, and someone else was already moving to claim the prize. A storm was coming. A storm not born on Earth, but one that Earth would be forced to face. The signal pulsed one last time, weak and trembling. Then it stopped. Silence returned to the universe, but the silence did not bring peace. It brought fear, because everyone knew when a distress call ends, it means either the sender has been saved or destroyed. And humanity was about to find out which. The signal had stopped, but its echo lived inside every mind on Earth. For days, scientists replayed the last transmission. Military leaders studied the coordinates again and again. The silence that followed was not comforting. It was terrifying. In the orbital command station, Daniel and Patel worked without rest. Their eyes were red, their hands shaking. But finally, Patel noticed something no one else had seen. In the last seconds, she whispered, pointing at the waveform. There's more hidden data, not just the voice, images. The room froze. Everyone leaned closer as the machines reconstructed fragments. The first images were blurry, almost meaningless. But slowly shapes emerged. A broken ship, a burning sky, creatures huddled together, wounded, desperate. Daniel's breath caught in his chest. These were not humans. Their faces were strange, their bodies covered with pale armor-like skin. Their eyes glowed faintly in the dark. They were tall, noble even, but broken. They are survivors, Patel said softly. They're begging for help. General Reeves stood silent for a long time. Then his voice cut like a blade. If they are in trouble, then someone else put them there. And if we go, we may find their enemy waiting. The room grew tense. Some wanted to turn away, to pretend Earth had never heard the call. But Reeves knew that was impossible. The universe now knows we are listening, he said. Silence will not protect us. The first fleet was prepared in secret. Small, fast ships, exploration class, but armed with the best weapons humanity had built. At their head was the EAS Valiant, a proud warship. Daniel and Patel were not soldiers, but Reeves ordered them aboard. You heard the signal first. You'll be there to understand what we find. As the ships launched from orbit, billions of people on Earth watched the trails of light. No official explanation was given, but everyone guessed. Humanity was leaving home not to explore, but to confront. The journey to the Red Star system took weeks. Inside the Valiant, tension grew heavy. Daniel could not sleep. Night after night, he dreamed of the alien faces begging for help. Patel tried to stay logical, but even she admitted something strange. If these creatures have ships that can send signals across light years, how could they be so helpless? What enemy could crush them so completely? Her words brought silence. Everyone knew the answer. If one species could fall, then so could humanity. When the fleet finally arrived, the system was quiet. Too quiet. The Red Star burned weakly, casting a sick light over broken asteroids. Then they saw it. A giant ship, torn apart, drifting near a dead planet. Its hull was scarred with burns and holes. Pieces of it floated away like corpses in space. Daniel's chest tightened. It was the same ship from the images. The Valiant sent drones closer. Cameras showed the wreck in detail. The alien design was elegant, curved like the bones of some great beast. But the beauty was gone. All that remained was ruin, and then the first body. The camera caught the figure drifting in the void, pale armor cracked, lifeless eyes staring. It was the same species from the signal. Dozens more floated nearby. They didn't survive, Patel whispered, her voice trembling. But then, the drone's sensors beeped. Movement. Inside the wreck. Deep within the ruined halls, heat signatures appeared. Faint but real. Survivors. The Valiant sent a boarding team. Daniel and Patel watched the feed as soldiers in armored suits entered the wreck. Their lights cut through the dark halls, revealing signs of battle. Scorch marks, shattered weapons, walls clawed by something powerful. Finally, the team reached a chamber. There, huddled together, were 3 aliens still alive. Weak, wounded, their glowing eyes filled with fear. One of them raised a trembling hand. Its voice was broken, but the translator caught one word: run. Before the soldiers could react, the sensors screamed. Multiple ships appeared at the edge of the system. Not human. Dark, spiked shapes moving like predators. The enemy had arrived. General Reeves ordered red alert. Shields up! Prepare for combat! The calm of space shattered as alarms rang through the fleet. Daniel's heart pounded as he stared at the screen. These new ships did not look like rescuers. They looked like hunters, closing in on their prey. The distress call had not just brought humanity here. It had brought others, those who had destroyed the alien ship. And now, Earth stood in their path. The war had found them. The alarms screamed across the Valiant. Red lights flashed in every corridor as the crew rushed to battle stations. Outside, the enemy fleet closed in. Dark ships, spiked and jagged, moved like shadows in the red glow of the dying star. General Reeves stood firm on the command deck. His eyes were cold, his voice steady. They came to finish the survivors. They will not leave alive. Prepare all weapons. The human fleet spread into formation. Dozens of ships, engines burning, shields raised. Against them, the alien predators advanced, silent and merciless. Daniel and Patel were strapped into seats on the command deck. They were not soldiers, but Reeves wanted them to see. "You heard the call," Reeves told them. "Now you'll see why Earth must answer with strength." The enemy fired first. Beams of burning light tore across space, slamming into human shields. The Valiant shook, alarms blaring. Sparks flew across the control panels. "Shields holding," shouted an officer. "Return fire," Reeves commanded. The Valiant unleashed its cannons. Missiles streaked through the void. Explosions bloomed in the dark. One of the enemy ships broke apart, flames spilling into space. But more came, fast and vicious. The battle had begun. The boarding team inside the wrecked alien ship heard the chaos outside. They moved quickly, carrying the 3 wounded survivors back toward their shuttle. The tallest of the survivors, his glowing eyes dim, tried to speak. The translator crackled. "They follow us and kill us." Patel listened in shock through the feed. "They weren't just random victims," she whispered. "They were hunted. Someone wanted them destroyed." On the battlefield, the predators revealed their power. Small, fast attack craft swarmed the human fleet like angry insects. They cut through the shields, targeting engines, trying to disable rather than destroy. They wanted prisoners. Reeves clenched his jaw. "They're not fighting to kill us. They're fighting to capture us." His voice grew sharp. "Not today. Show them Earth's wrath." The Valiant turned hard, its main cannon charging. With a thunderous blast, it cut straight through an enemy cruiser. The alien ship exploded into fragments torn apart by fire. The crew cheered, but the victory was brief. Another Predator vessel moved in to take its place. Daniel sat frozen, his hands gripping the chair. He had never seen war like this. Humans were brave, but the enemy fought like demons. Patel leaned closer, her voice trembling. "If we lose here, Earth will be next." Suddenly, the Predator fleet changed formation. 3 massive ships appeared from behind the planet. Larger than anything humanity had ever built, their hulls bristled with weapons. The smaller enemy craft pulled back, giving space to their giants. General Reeves's face hardened. "So this is their true power," the enemy fired together. A storm of energy blasts lit up the void, striking the human fleet. 2 ships were destroyed instantly, swallowed in fire. Another spun out of control, engines burning. The command deck fell silent. Everyone realized the truth. Humanity was outmatched, but Reeves did not bend. His voice cut through the fear. "Listen to me. We are not here to beg. We are not here to run. We are here to fight. For Earth, for every human who looks at the stars and dreams of freedom. If we fall, then we fall standing." The crew roared in answer. The Valiant pushed forward, leading the charge. Missiles screamed. Cannons roared. Human ships fought with fury, refusing to break. One by one, enemy craft exploded under the storm of fire. In the middle of the chaos, the boarding team returned with the alien survivors. They were rushed onto the Valiant. Daniel and Patel met them in the hangar. The tallest survivor looked at Daniel, his glowing eyes filled with pain, but also respect. Through the translator, he spoke a single word: warriors. Daniel realized what the alien meant. They had called for help, but they had not expected humans. Now they saw Earth's strength and Earth's wrath. On the battlefield, the largest enemy ship turned its weapons toward the Valiant. A beam of pure destruction built at its core, brighter and brighter. "Brace for impact," shouted an officer. The beam fired, and in that instant Reeves made his choice. "All power to forward shields. Fire everything we have." The Valiant roared back, unleashing its arsenal. Missiles, beams, cannons, all struck the enemy giant at once. The alien ship shuddered. Fire erupted across its hull. The Predator's massive weapon collapsed, tearing the ship apart in a chain of explosions. The void lit up with the blaze. The humans had destroyed one of the giants. But the cost was high. Half the fleet was gone. The Predators still outnumbered them, and more shadows lurked at the edge of the system. The battle was not over. It had only begun. Daniel stared at the burning wrecks outside, his heart heavy but burning with pride. For the first time, humanity had stood against the darkness of the galaxy. They were no longer hidden, no longer silent. The distress signal had called for saviors. Instead, it had awakened Earth's wrath. The battlefield around the Red Star burned with wreckage. Pieces of ships drifted like broken bones in the void. Human vessels floated among them, some destroyed, some scarred, but still alive. On the Valiant, smoke filled the command deck. Sparks burst from panels. Alarms screamed in broken rhythm. Yet General Reeves still stood tall. His uniform was torn, his face cut, but his eyes burned with fire. "We are not finished," he said. His voice carried through the ship like steel. "Earth does not bow. The enemy fleet had been hurt. One of their giant warships was gone, smaller vessels destroyed. But two of the massive Predator ships still remained, waiting in the shadows like wolves around wounded prey." Everyone on the Valiant knew the truth. If the Predators attacked again, humanity would not survive. In the hangar, Daniel and Patel stood with the alien survivors. The tallest one, barely able to stand, spoke through the translator. His voice was heavy, slow. "You fight like fire. We thought your kind, weak. We were wrong." Daniel's heart pounded. "Who attacked you? Who are they?" The alien's glowing eyes dimmed, as if remembering old horrors. "We called them the Scourge. They destroy. They conquer. They leave nothing alive. They will come for you now." Patel's face grew pale. "They sent the distress call. Not only for rescue." There was a warning. On the command deck, sensors beeped. New signatures appeared on the edge of the system. Reeves froze. Everyone stared at the screen. Another fleet, but not Predators. Sleek ships, different in design, entered the system. They bore strange symbols across their hulls, glowing with soft blue light. They were not human, but neither did they look like the Scourge. The bridge went silent. Friend or foe? The unknown fleet stopped, watching. No weapons fired, only silence. Then a transmission came through. A calm, alien voice filled the air. "We heard the signal too, and we heard your response. Humanity, you have shown strength. Now the galaxy will take notice." The message ended. The alien fleet turned and vanished into faster-than-light travel, leaving only silence behind. Daniel whispered, "They came only to see, to judge us." General Reeves nodded grimly. "Then they know we are not prey." But the danger was not gone. The two remaining Scourge warships drifted in the distance, watching. They had not attacked again, but their presence was a shadow over every heart. Reeves gave his order. "Retreat. We have proven enough today. Take the survivors. Take the data. The galaxy now knows Earth's name." The battered human fleet turned, engines flaring, carrying the rescued aliens with them. Behind, the broken system faded into darkness. On the journey home, the alien survivor spoke once more to Daniel and Patel. His words were heavy with warning. "The Scourge will not forget you. By answering our call, you have made yourselves their enemy. They will come for Earth." Daniel met his glowing eyes and did not look away. "Then they will find we are ready." Weeks later, Earth celebrated its first great victory. The news spread across every city. Humanity had faced an unknown predator in the stars, and survived. For the first time, mankind felt not fear, but pride. But in the halls of command, Reeves and his officers studied the data in silence. They knew the truth. This was not victory. It was only the beginning. The distress signal had been a spark. Now the fire of war would spread. On the edge of the galaxy, deep within the void, the Scourge gathered. Hundreds of ships, black as death, assembled into a vast armada. Their leaders spoke in voices that shook with rage. The humans dared resist. The humans destroyed one of us. Their claws slammed against metal. Their fleets roared to life. Then the humans will burn. Back on Earth, Daniel stood once more at the station window, staring into the endless night. He remembered the first whisper of the signal, the way it had broken the silence. He whispered to himself, "You called for help." And Earth answered, "Now! The galaxy will remember us." The stars shone cold and distant. Somewhere among them, enemies moved. Somewhere among them, allies watched. The distress signal was gone. But its echo had changed everything. Humanity was no longer silent. Humanity was no longer hidden. And humanity would never again be ignored. Because the distress signal had awakened something far greater than fear. It had awakened Earth's wrath.